You've been ordering the same coffee drinks for years. You have no idea what most of them actually are. The Caramel Macchiato has nothing to do with an Italian macchiato. The Frappuccino was invented in Boston, not Seattle. One of the most popular coffee drinks in Eastern Europe was named after a guy who just wanted good coffee with milk. And if you order a latte in Italy, you'll get a glass of cold milk. This is every coffee drink explained. Frappuccino. Starbucks didn't invent the Frappuccino, they bought it. In 1992, George Howell, owner of a small Boston coffee chain called Coffee Connection, asked his marketing manager Andrew Frank to create a summer drink. Frank combined coffee, sugar, milk, and ice in a frozen yogurt machine and named it Frappuccino, a blend of frappe, the New England term for a thick milkshake, and cappuccino. The drink doubled Howell's business within a year and spread to 23 locations. In 1994, Starbucks bought Coffee Connection for $23 million, primarily to acquire the name. They changed the recipe, added a blender, and loaded it with xanthan gum, carrageenan, and flavored syrups. By 1996, Starbucks made $52 million in Frappuccino sales. Starbucks now sues any cafe that uses a similar name. In 2022, a Delhi court permanently banned an Indian cafe from serving anything called Brownie Chips Frappuccino. The original inventor got nothing from any of it. Macchiato. Macchiato means stained in Italian. One espresso shot with a small dollop of foam. The drink fits in a 3-ounce cup and has about 15 calories. The Starbucks Caramel Macchiato was created in 1996 to celebrate the company's 25th anniversary. It contains vanilla syrup, steamed milk, 2 espresso shots poured on top, and a caramel drizzle. It comes in sizes up to 24 ounces and runs up to 380 calories. The Starbucks version is more accurately described as a vanilla latte with caramel, constructed in reverse order. Italian baristas who encounter it for the first time typically need a moment to process what they're looking at. If you want an actual macchiato anywhere outside Italy, you have to say traditional macchiato or espresso macchiato. Otherwise, you'll get the Starbucks version regardless of where you are. RAF Coffee. In 1996, a man named Raphael Timurbayev walked into a Moscow coffee shop called Coffee Bean and asked for a good cup of coffee with milk. 3 baristas took the open-ended request and experimented. They mixed espresso with heavy cream and vanilla sugar, then steamed everything together in a single pitcher instead of frothing the milk separately. The result tasted like liquid creme brulee. Timurbayev started ordering it every visit. His friends came specifically for it. Other customers asked for the same thing they made for Raf.
Coffee Bean added it to the menu permanently. By 2018, RAF Coffee had spread across Russia, Ukraine, Kazakhstan, and Belarus. Outside the former Soviet states, it's virtually unknown. Nobody positioned it as a Russian invention, which is partly why Western cafes occasionally serve it without knowing where it came from. Latte. If you walk into a bar in Italy and order a latte, you'll get a glass of cold milk. The word means milk. What Americans call a latte, espresso with steamed milk, is called cafe latte in Italy, and even then, it's mostly a home preparation. Italians don't typically order it in cafes. The drink as Americans know it was popularized in Seattle in the 1980s, where adding large amounts of steamed milk to espresso became the default format for accessible coffee. Starbucks scaled this nationally. A grande vanilla latte contains 2 shots of espresso, flavored syrup, and 16 ounces of steamed milk. The espresso is in there. Starbucks charges around $6.50 for a flavored latte. The milk costs about 40 cents. The espresso shot about 30 cents. The rest is real estate, labor, and the cup with your name misspelled on it. Cold brew. Cold brew and iced coffee are not the same thing. Most of what gets sold as cold brew isn't made the way the name implies. Real cold brew steeps coarsely ground coffee in cold water for 12 to 24 hours. No heat at any point. The result is a concentrate with lower acidity and a smoother, slightly sweeter flavor. It takes a full day to produce one batch. Iced coffee is hot brewed coffee poured over ice. Fast, cheap, and what most chains actually serve. Several major brands sell bottled cold brew made from concentrate diluted with water, not cold steeped, because concentrate is faster and cheaper at scale. The FDA has no legal definition for cold brew. Any company can label anything cold brew regardless of how it was made. A $6 cold brew at a coffee chain and a $2 iced coffee at a diner may be identical. Nitro cold brew. Nitro cold brew is cold brew infused with nitrogen gas and served from a tap like draft beer. Nitrogen creates smaller bubbles than CO2, giving it a creamy texture without adding dairy or sugar. Starbucks launched it nationally in 2016. A Grande Nitro cold brew costs around $5.25, about $1.50 more than regular cold brew for the same caffeine. The nitrogen is the only difference. The gas itself costs almost nothing. The tap system requires investment, which is the real cost driver and the reason nitro mostly exists at chains rather than independent cafes. The texture genuinely is different. Whether it's worth the premium is a question you've probably already answered by now. Americano. The Americano exists because American soldiers in Italy during World War II found espresso too strong and asked cafes to dilute it with hot water. Italian baristas complied and privately found this somewhere between sacrilege and comedy. The drink was named after the Americans who ordered it. Espresso with hot water. That's it. The ratio matters. A standard Americano is 1 or 2 shots with roughly 6 ounces of hot water added after. Water after the espresso, not before, which preserves the crema on top. Add the water first, and it's technically a lungo, which is a different extraction entirely. 70 years later, the drink soldiers accidentally invented has outlasted every reason they needed it. Flat white. The flat white originated in either Australia or New Zealand, depending on who you ask. Both countries have been arguing about it since the 1980s. The Australian claim, a Sydney cafe called Moore's Espresso Bar introduced it in 1985. The New Zealand claim, a Wellington cafe called DKD served it first. Neither claim has been proven. Both countries consider the other's version revisionist history. The drink is a double ristretto, a shorter, more concentrated espresso pull, with less steamed milk than a latte, giving it a stronger coffee-to-milk ratio. Starbucks added it to their menu in 2015, served in a 12-ounce cup. The actual flat white from Sydney or Wellington comes in a 5 to 6 ounce ceramic cup. What Starbucks sells is twice the size and closer to a small latte. Nobody from either country would recognize it as theirs. Cortado. Cortado means cut in Spanish. Espresso cut with an equal amount of warm milk. 1-to-1 ratio, 4 ounces total. The milk softens the acidity without diluting the coffee flavor. It comes from Spain's Basque region and spread through Portugal and Latin America before reaching North America through the specialty coffee movement in the 2000s. Blue Bottle Coffee in San Francisco started serving it in a specific 4.5-ounce Libby glass and called it a Gibraltar, after the glass, not any geographic connection. A latte runs 1 to 3 to 1 to 5 espresso to milk. A cortado is 1-to-1. For anyone who finds lattes too milky, but straight espresso too intense, it's the obvious answer. Starbucks didn't add it to their national menu until 2023 and serves it in a larger cup than the traditional format. Cappuccino. Cappuccino is named after monks, specifically the Capuchin friars, a Franciscan order founded in 1525 who wore plain brown hooded robes. The color of espresso mixed with frothed milk matched those robes closely enough that Viennese coffee houses in the 1700s started calling the drink cappuccino. Italian cafes adapted the name. The same color gave the Capuchin monkey its name. A Catholic order, a coffee drink, and a primate in South America, all named after the same shade of brown. In Italy, cappuccino is a morning drink, strictly morning. Ordering one after 11 a.m. marks you as a tourist. The rule isn't written anywhere, Italians just know. A traditional cappuccino is 5 to 6 ounces. A Starbucks Grande cappuccino is 16 ounces, mostly foam. They share a name, espresso. Everything else on this list starts here. Every milk-based drink, latte, cappuccino, cortado, flat white, macchiato, is espresso with something added. The method was developed in Italy in the early 20th century. Hot water forced through finely ground coffee under 9 bars of pressure for 25 to 30 seconds. The result is a 1-ounce shot with a layer of crema, reddish-brown foam from emulsified coffee oils under pressure. No other brewing method produces crema. Starbucks pulls espresso on automatic machines set by corporate. Italian baristas adjust grind and timing by taste. Same beans, meaningfully different results. Starbucks espresso roast is darker than most Italian standards. Dark roasting reduces acidity and produces a bolder, more bitter flavor that holds up under 16 ounces of milk. It's built for lattes. Drinking it straight is a different experience entirely. Turkish coffee. Before espresso, before filters, before every drink on this list. The method was developed in the Ottoman Empire in the 16th century and is the oldest coffee brewing technique still in daily use anywhere. Coffee ground to a flour-like powder, finer than espresso, combined with water in a small copper chesve, heated slowly until thick foam forms on top. Served unfiltered. The grounds settle at the bottom of the cup. When the Ottoman army retreated from Vienna in 1683, they left behind sacks of coffee beans. A man named Jerzy Kolcheski, who'd lived in Istanbul and recognized what they were, opened Vienna's first coffee house, filtered out the grounds, added milk and sugar, and accidentally started European cafe culture. Every cappuccino, every latte, every frappuccino traces back to what the Ottomans left behind outside Vienna's walls. UNESCO recognized Turkish coffee as intangible cultural heritage in 2013.